Assalamu alaikum. Well, as you know, this is Sister Leah Muhammad, and it's been a while. However, I felt compelled to make this video. So, here we go. In the name of Allah, Master Muhammad and his messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a truth, a direction, a platform that built a nation that should be still in effect, but even if not, the philosophy, the theology of it should be in effect in our heart, soul, and mind, that we live off of that divine teaching every day. And so therefore, we should be living in a cultural way, in our own culture that was given to us by these divine men, these great men, these men who were about us every day. And so living this is not easy. We tend to look at things of the past and all the heroic things that black men and women have done in the past. And I don't have to call out the names. You know the names, because the names are constantly repeated. The Sojourner Truths and Harriet Tubman and the Noble Drew Ali's and the Marcus Garveys and so forth and so on. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Farad Muhammad. You know, we sound these names all the time, but we talk about them in past tense, and we do nothing about standing in the legacy of those great people, doing the things or even attempting to do the things that they did in order to be heroic to us. So in that is pain, in that is struggle, in that is a giving of yourself, in that is difficulty. In that is being able to give up something. So if you're not willing to stand no matter what around you is going on, if you're not willing to stand no matter who it is, family, friend, or foe, that might stand in your way, and you're not willing to trudge on to the divine destiny, then you can't say you're standing it on. So I see Sister Leah, I used to, when I was a little girl, I used to say, I'm going to stand if I have to go by myself. And so, though I've been married and I've had children, and I have loved my children with all my heart, soul, and mind, if my children get to a point in their lives where they become adults, and they do no longer want to follow the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in its effect, you know, being decent women and men, knowing not to repeat the mistakes of our forefathers and of their grandparents, and not even me, though I tried not to make some mistakes. You know, like, I don't want none of my children, none of my girls to be baby mamas. I did not want that for them. I did not want my sons to be baby daddies. Those are things that cause a problem in the direct fiber of the family structure. And so here I am before you to say, you judge me, I don't care. But just like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad shared with his children, if you're not about what I'm teaching, you can hit the door, you can go on your own way, but as long as you're around me, you're going to have to submit to the will of Allah, Master Muhammad. That's exactly how I am. And that's how I've always been. So I have children that are out in that world, but you know what? I don't worry about them. That's their life. They made that decision. The ones that are still home with me, we are still standing on this teaching and living according to the divine culture that the gods gave to us. And that is knowing what to do, when to do, how to do, where to do, and who to do it with. And so, as a black woman, I feel compelled to be a strong example and a strong presence in my daughters' lives, that they do not repeat the errors of the past. And I likewise, for my sons, wanted to inject them into relationships with men that I admired that had not made mistakes and became baby daddies and women abusers and things like that. So unfortunately for me right now, I'm dealing with a mental mentally insane stalker by the name of Ibn Ra, TAALIK Ibn Ra, aka Snupnup7 or ANGELSNUPNUP7, whose government name is Lorne Wray. And you know, this guy is sick. And it took me less than 90 days to see this. And this is why we are no longer together. First of all, I thought that the brother was sincere. And I really believe he had a real big following. But you know, hell, you can have at least 50 people listening to you when you have 100 million internet sites. I mean, this guy's all over the internet. He has hundreds of videos, maybe even thousands. And he's using the internet, trust and believe me, for therapy. Because TAALIK Ibn Ra, aka ANGELSNUPNUP7, is truly mentally insane. And you know, brothers and sisters, it was a sad thing to have to accept on conception when I first saw him and got with him and began to interact with him, me and my children. It was a sad thing to have to accept, but it is what it is. And he should be taking his medication, but instead he's using your attention, brothers and sisters, people, black, white, green, yellow, it doesn't matter, because he's all over the internet, all over the world, because he's on every internet site he can find. So my point is this: he's using this as therapy when he should be taking his medication. Some medications you just have to take. But him sitting up in his loneliness in a corner of a couch, or laying on a cot in a basement, or sitting in the back of his truck, you know, riding around the world where he could be meeting people and interacting with people, but all he's doing is spending time on the internet making videos because it's therapy for him. That's his couch. That's his couch. And everything he's feeling, the anger, the disappointment, the pain from his background and from his life and the things that have happened to him. Like all of us have had things happen to us. But what determines your mental capacity is how you deal with it. And he has not been able to deal with it very well. So he uses the internet as his couch and as his therapy. Don't let him do this to you. Nothing he says has any validity. Nothing he says has any depth. Everything he speaks comes from some other person or some other school of thought or some other speech he heard or something like that. It's nothing authentic. Because it's all him trying to find a way to deal with his own inner peace, to deal with his own inner pain, when he just needs to face the fact that it is what it is. So, you have a man 50-something years old, don't have any children, don't have any interaction with anyone in his own family bloodline, because they are all kind of really sick. But he's trying to be the one that's the extreme, and he's not. And so he's been stalking me. I mean, actually literally stalking me. And here's the proof. A police report right here. Let me see if I can get it closer so you can see. Police report. And I'm already seeking counsel on how to deal with him, because being that he was mentally institutionalized for 10 years for the same crime, I don't know how to deal with that, really. I mean, I'm taken aback. But he keeps texting me. He keeps threatening me. He recently here, when he was here in February, well, January, because February left. Well, when he was here in January, something happened to my tabletop computer. And so, since we were not at odds at that time, he went to fix it. Do you know he went in my computer, downloaded some software where he can tap into my computer no matter where he's at in the world, driving around, on this truck driving job he's only had for a couple of months, and probably won't keep it for nothing but a couple of more months, because mentally insane people cannot stay on a job. But anyway, he's tapped into my computer and controls my computer to keep me from writing what I want to write and posting what I want to post. Who does that? That's an insane person. That's the work of an insane person who can't let go. I mean, I know I'm a good woman. I know I'm a good sister. He knows when he was here he got well taken care of. But the fact remains, you are a grown man and you got issues, so you need to go out there and try to figure it out on your own. And if you don't want to take your medication, I cannot be your punching bag for your mental instability. So that is why he had to go. So brothers and sisters, again, help me bring a vibe that might help him move on. Or lest he's going to wind up back in the mental institution messing with me, because I'm not going to take it. And so now he's stalking my daughter. He's stalking my family. He's showing up at family events that he's not invited to. He's with my daughter. And everyone that knows that he's with my daughter, Zania Tahita Robinson, says they're sleeping together. And that's foul. And I won't forget my daughter for that. But that's another thing. She got wroth with me, left home, because she did not want to submit to the teachings. So she parted ways with me. And now she's got a grudge against me. So that's why she's dealing with TAALIK. But they're both wrong. But he's only doing this to hurt me. And that's wrong. But he won't give up the fact we're not married. I've sold the ring. I've tore up the license before I got them notarized that we were no longer married. It's over. So help me with that gift of God that we are. Send out a vibe that will move him on away from me and my family and my situation, period. Because whether it's good or bad, it's my life. He has nothing to do with it. What my relationship with my children, he has nothing to do with it. My relationship with my family, who are pork swine eating Negroes, he has nothing to do with it. So stay out of it. Just move on. And I know you all will agree. So I don't hate Snupnup7, ANGELSNUPNUP7. I don't hate TAALIK Ibn Ra. I feel sorry for him, and I just wish he would move on. But again, with me, my brothers and sisters, let's send out that vibe, that force that will make him move on before he finds himself back in the mental institution. Thank you for listening to me. More to come about Aaliyah Rebecca Muhammad and her life journey, because it's a lot to share. You know, to be a sister like me who was willing to let go and give up and make sacrifices, even with loved ones, because of this truth, that we must unite, that we must be about our business. We must stand and demand that our culture is just as important as anybody else. The Spanish, the Italian, the Caucasian, the African, Black American Negroes had a culture that was thriving all through the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 70s. And we just have let it go. But some of us, like myself, are still standing on those principles. And those principles do not make life easy for you, but it can make it beautiful and peaceful. So though I might not have all my children with me, I don't want them with me if they're going to bring bisexuality, if they're going to bring baby daddies, if they're going to bring drinking and drugging and running the street, and my daughters dressing nasty and not dressing modest the way I taught them, and where everybody who knows them, how they were raised up, how they were. I don't want that. And if my sons are being baby daddies and don't want to marry women they with and mistreating them and abusing them, I don't want that around me. So more to come, okay? Just wanted to keep it real and ask for the support to let this man, TAALIK Ibn Ra, so-called ANGELSNUPNUP7, so-called Lorne Wray, and many other names he has, leave Aaliyah alone. What Aaliyah has done and is doing is none of your business. It's over. Keep it moving. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.